As we look at the quarterbacks in this matchup, we have Marcus Mariota and PJ Walker. Between these two, the only quarterback you should even be thinking about starting should be Marcus Mariota. Mariota should be able to do just enough against the Panthers defense to be a viable option at the quarterback position, especially if you're trying to do a bye week fill-in somewhere. On the other hand, we do have PJ Walker, who has a huge chance of just not finishing the game as the quarterback. I mean, last week you saw Baker Mayfield take over for Walker, and he actually looked pretty good. And to make all matters worse, Sam Darnold was just taken off of the IR. They did announce, although, that PJ Walker will be the starter for this game, but he just has a problem even completing a single pass. He shouldn't really be on an NFL roster, let alone your fantasy roster. So who knows, in the second quarter or third quarter, when they're not doing very well, they could be pulled, put in either Baker Mayfield, could put in Sam Darnold. You just don't know about the situation, and at your quarterback position, you need some stability. I wouldn't start PJ Walker whatsoever. I have Marcus Mariota as a start and PJ Walker as a sit this week. Mariota should have plenty of opportunities to put up fantasy points against this defense. As long as Walker is the quarterback, you should see plenty of 3-and-outs for the Panthers. Start Mariota with confidence and throw PJ Walker in the trash. As far as the running backs go, we need to talk about Cordell Patterson and Tyler Allgeier for the Falcons and D'Onta Foreman for the Panthers. The Panthers are giving up the 5th most rushing yards to opposing running backs, which does set up Patterson for a monster game. He had limited role last week considering it was his first game back from IR, and he still put up a solid fantasy game. See, this week we should even see more work from Patterson, which should set him up to be a top 10 running back this week against this defense. On the other side with Tyler Allgeier, we should just see a lesser workload, which for me just kind of takes him out of the flex consideration and just becomes kind of like a bench fodder. You have D'Onta Foreman, he's going to be running the ball. The Falcons defense isn't much better as them for running the ball against. He's going to be a good option for you to go as well. I have Cordell Patterson and D'Onta Foreman as starts and Tyler Allgeier as a sit. These are two defenses that really don't stop the run very well. You should be able to see these two starting running backs have a very good fantasy performance. Tyler Allgeier just won't get the volume needed to be a fantasy relevant running back this week. Now let's look at the wide receivers in this matchup. Starting on the Falcons side, we have Drake London and Olamide Zaccheaus. I don't know how to say his name, but you've got him on the other side. You got the passing game really hasn't been what you really want to see these past several weeks, but going against a defense that's given up the 12th most yards to opposing offenses and wide receivers should just be enough to give Drake London a bounce back type of game. Now we kind of move on to the Panthers wide receivers with DJ Moore and Terrace Marshall Jr. as they take on a Falcons defense who's given up the 2nd most receiving yards to opposing wide receivers. So you're sitting back and thinking, whoa, what an amazing matchup. Hold on there, cowboy. The problem that I see here is at the quarterback play. The only person that I can see even viable here would be DJ Moore, and that's even once they have a quarterback change to either Baker Mayfield or Sam Darnold. See, I have DJ Moore and Drake London as starts with Terrace Marshall Jr. and Olamide Zaccheaus as sits. I think that's how you say his name, Zaccheaus, possibly. Let me know down in the comments how to really pronounce his name because I have no clue. DJ Moore is really a start for me because of how bad the Falcons are, not really because I believe he's going to receive a ton of quality type of targets. London should be able to take advantage of the Panthers defense. You see, I have a hard time recommending Marshall Jr. or Zaccheaus this week just due to the fact that their quarterbacks are going to have a hard time getting multiple viable fantasy targets involved into this passing game. Lastly, let's go ahead and look at the tight end position and talk about Kyle Pitts and Tommy Tremble. Kyle Pitts was a disappointment last year, and he's now yet again once a disappointment this year. He's somebody you just simply cannot depend on week in and week out. On the other side, Tommy Tremble simply doesn't have really the talent to be a viable option for you, and he doesn't even have the talent at quarterback to be a viable option for you. I have Kyle Pitts and Tommy Tremble as sits this week. There are so many more better options for you to pick from this week. You don't need to start any one of these guys for your team and put yourself in a hole scoring, 3 or 4 points at your tight end position on a Thursday night, going into your Sunday games and already being kind of down and not looking too good for your matchups. Just stay away from any tight end in this game.